Hi, so this is my second Dahlia video. It's meant to be an unboxing, but I got too impatient. I took a couple of pictures as I was opening the box, and so you can see some of the tubers, but basically I'll go through each of the different varieties. So this order is from H.W.Hyde and Sons. Basically I stumbled across their site when I was looking for a specific variety of Dahlia, and then I realised they had loads, so I went a bit crazy and I bought lots of them. As you can see, the tubers are really healthy, so I'll just go through each of the varieties that I ordered. Okay, and so first up is Beautiful, and it is a small decorative dahlia with lavender blue flowers. And I bought this one along with Blue Boy because I wanted a dahlia that was blue, but I think lavender purple is the closest that there is at the moment to blue. So I'm hoping for like a really nice sort of deep, almost blue lavender from this one. And next is La Luna, and it is described as a giant decorative. Now I'm a bit confused because I don't know if there's any difference between a giant decorative and a dinner plate. Are they the same thing? A dinner plate's bigger than a giant decorative? Maybe somebody can help me out and tell me what is what sizing wise. And this is having a lemon yellow flower with hints of white on each petal, and I've seen the pictures vary from anything between the whole flower being like this really pastel-y, delicate lemony colour, to the petals almost being completely white with just like a few streaks of yellow through it. So I think it's one of those ones that, you know, each plant is going to have a variety of different flowers with different shades and colourings. And next is Melody Dixie, and this one is a compact dahlia, so it doesn't grow any higher than 60 centimetres. I know that some people won't grow those ones for cutting, but I don't know why. I think 60 centimetres is still really good to get a decent stem length for cutting. And so this one, I think medium decorative flowers, and it's described as lilac, pink and white. And what it is it's one of those that's almost like the ombre effect, and it blends. So it starts with white at the base of the petal that blends into like a lilac pink, and then right at the tips you've got a bit of fuchsia, and right in the centre it's like a deep pinky fuchsia colour. And next is Jerry Arenda, and this one's a bit out of my comfort zone because I tend to head more towards the pastel palette tone, whereas this one's really bright in face. This is a ball dahlia, and it's described as a yellow ball with purple red tips, and I would say that's a pretty accurate description. I'll add pictures somewhere when I edit the video so you can see everything. And it is a yellow petal, and then right at the tips it's like a deep sort of red fuchsia. It varies, I've seen it vary from pink to like a burgundy colour on the tips. So that one, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to try and incorporate that into a bouquet. And then one that I'm really excited for is Brown Sugar. It is another ball dahlia, and it is described as having bright copper orange flowers with a rich copper red towards the centre. Now it reminds me slightly of the Cornell bronze, but this is more red toned, whereas I think the Cornell bronze is a bit more orange, a bit cooler, it's not as warm, whereas this one you can really see the red. Like when you look at the centre of it, it is like a really deep browny red colour. And here we have Ben Houston. Now this is another dinner plate dahlia, described as having apricot orange flowers, and I think it is pretty much apricot, and the reason that I picked it is that it's really the only one that I've seen that's like that peachy colour, so it's not quite as orange and vibrant as some of the others that I've seen that are a similar tone. This is a very sort of subtle peach colour, and it's got enormous dinner plate dahlia flower, and I did buy a lot, but I tried to, for every dinner plate that I bought, I tried to buy a smaller one or a medium one, because I know that some people don't incorporate the dinner plates into their bouquets because it can be quite big and overpowering, and so I do want to try with the dinner plates and see what I can put together. If they don't work, then they can go in the garden, but what I didn't want is just to have all these amazing huge dinner plates and giant decoratives and realise that I couldn't use any dahlias in bouquets with the other flowers that I've grown. And next is Babylon Bond, and this one is the decorative. I think this is a medium decorative. It could be a large decorative, maybe a bit somewhere in between. And it is described as having glowing orange blooms, and it's very similar to the Ben Houston. It has this similar sort of petals, and the colouring is very similar, but this is the one that's more orange. It's more vibrant orange, whereas the Ben Houston is that sort of peachy colour and peachy tones rather than the orange. And next is Bull's Pride, and it's just a dinner plate dahlia, and it's pure white. I do tend to steer away from pure white flowers, but I know that like for bridal bouquets and things, it's kind of people do want it. People do want white flowers on their wedding day. So I don't think I've grown anything else really that's white this year, so that's why I chose the white dahlia, because I thought, oh, that can always be can always get white into a bouquet that way, and it's a nice big dinner plate, so it makes quite a statement. And then next, so I have another cafe au lait. I don't need to show the pictures of that because I also had a cafe au lait in my Farmer Gracie order, so I wanted one from each, because if one fails, it means hopefully I've got a backup, because I'm really excited for the cafe au lait. I'm hoping it's like all the pictures, because I know that we see all these gorgeous pictures of all these flowers, and sometimes it's only one bloom that looks like that on the plant, and the rest are still gorgeous and beautiful, but not quite as photogenic as the one that's been photographed. And I think that can be said for my next one that I bought, which is Cafe au lait. Now, I've seen so many variations of this flower. I've seen it look almost like Cafe au lait, but with just a little bit of pale pink for it. I've seen it look completely pale pastely pink, and I've seen it look pale pink with dark fuchsia stripes through it. So I will be really interested to see how it comes out and how it looks once it's grown, because I think it's going to have a real sort of variation of flowers on the plant. Okay, and next is one that I'm really excited for, and it is Creme de Cognac. Now, I did actually order 2 Creme de Cassis from Farmer Gracie, but by the time it came for my order to be delivered, I don't know whether they were sold out or there was a crop failure or something, but they had to refund me. They couldn't send me them. So I'm really pleased that I managed to get the Creme de Cognac at least. It's a small decorative, so the flowers are smaller, and it's also described as being a pot dahlia or compact dahlia, so it's not going to grow any taller than 60 centimetres. And and the flowers are described as having a rich burgundy underside with a fine cognac top side of the petal. And what it means by a fine cognac, from what I can see in different photos that I've seen, is anything between like a goldeny orange to a sort of creamy beigey pink colour. So it's like a creamy beige but with a pink undertone. So it varies anywhere between that spectrum, between that pinky beige and sort of goldeny yellow. Yeah, and it's one I'm really excited for. And then next is Hercules, and this is a dinner plate dahlia, and it's very similar to the Babylon Bronze, and the Ben Houston is in that sort of giant orangey, apricot-y colour palette. But why I chose Hercules as well was that when you see the pictures, the flowers are really full, like they're really dense. There's a lot of petals. Like when you look at the centre, it's almost like feathers. They're very densely packed flowers. So they do have a different theme to the Ben Houston and the Babylon Bronze. And then next is Lavender Perfection. It's a dinner plate dahlia, and it is lavender, and it is perfect, hence its name. Yeah, and that's all there is about that one really. I haven't really seen much variation. It's pretty much just all lavender. And another one that is kind of out of my comfort zone for me, that I ordered because I thought it was just so unusual, is Mats, which is M-A-T-S. And I'll try and describe it, but you're better off just looking at the pictures because describing it really doesn't do it justice. So it has a blend of salmon and orange, and then it has bright white tips with red and burgundy stripes and speckles. Yeah. And I mean, if you look at the pictures, it's just so unusual. I haven't seen anything like it. And I really want to see how I can incorporate that into a bouquet, because it has so many colours going on to begin with. And then next is millennia F. This is a medium decorative, and it's just a nice soft flower. It's in that pinky yellowy colour palette. So it has cream yellow flowers that age to salmon and pink with a small cream tip. And that's basically it. The base of the petals are more yellow, blends out to pink and salmon, and then it has a really delicate sort of cream stripe through the centre with a cream tip. You can barely leave it. It's really soft. It's a really beautiful soft flower. And next is another one I'm really excited for. It's similar to the Creme de Cognac in a way. It's Miss Brandy. And so this one is a medium decorative. The underside of the petals is this streaked sort of red, almost burgundy, not as burgundy as the Creme de Cognac. And then the top side is a brandy colour. It's like a goldeny orange, and it just blends really nicely with the red underside. And after that we have Sir Alfred Ramsey, or Sir Alf Ramsey. It's a dinner plate, and it reminds me of that peony that I can't remember the name of. Is it ice cream? I'm not sure. It's the one that's like it's like a bowl, and it's like pinky purpley petals on the outside, and then like white ruffles on the inside. And this is basically the dahlia version of that. It has pinky lavender petals with a white heart, and it looks very similar. It is literally dense petals on the outside that are pinky purple, and then it has a white centre. And then we have strawberry ice, which is another, I think, a large decorative or a dinner plate. I'm not sure. It's 20 to 25 centimetres, the flowers. And it is described as having soft pink blossoms adorned with pale yellow undertones. And it is a melody dixie in that way. At the base of the petals are sort of creamy yellow, and they blend and fade out to sort of pinky lavender. And I think that's the difference with the melody dixie. The base is white and it blends out to more of a pink, more of a sort of vibrant pink, whereas with the strawberry ice it's more lavender than pink that it fades out to, and it's definitely got that yellowy orange tone at the base of the petals. And then we have Sweet Surprise, and this one is described as having white and pale lilac flowers, and it's really nice. It's apart from Bull's Pride, probably the most white dahlia that I bought, and it is the petals are white with just a really subtle pale lavender on the tips. And that's it. Yeah, it's just really, it's not so much of a blend as sort of the millennia and the sweets and the strawberry ice. It's more white with just a very, very subtle lavender tint to the tips of each petal. And then we have Wonder's Aurora, and this is a dinner plate, and it is described as having a blend of yellow, orange and pink, and yeah, I think that pretty much describes it. The base of the petals are a vibrant yellow, and then it's streaked with this orangey pink. I'd say more of a salmon, so it's like yellow with streaks of salmon and a little bit more pink through it. And lastly, we have Zoro, the dinner plate dahlia, and it is burgundy. And that's it. That's all there really is to say about that one. I am excited for it because it reminds me the colour very much like the Mexican star that I grew last year. And I've also got Chocolate Cosmos, so I can already begin to see sort of a combination going on with this dahlia, the Mexican star dahlia and the Chocolate Cosmos, that I think would look really nice together in a bouquet. And that's it. Thanks for watching. And just as a little end note, I've taken all my dahlias and I've potted them up to pre-sprout. The ones that I've done in individual tubs I'm hoping to take cuttings from, and the rest of them I'm just going to pre-sprout and then just put in the ground when they're ready.